Okay, so I posted some stuff this morning. I've been posting some things lately and doing videos because um, I'm trying to get a point across. And the thing is, it's hard for me to get a point across because a lot of people either I have many years I've come up with things that weren't seen or weren't popular to say at the time because I would be like, hey, I would make jokes of it in a way, or what's going on in society. And then I guess it's things that people didn't see that are going on in society. And then we get to a point, and a lot of people are like, how did we get here? And for years, I was trying to say this. I don't know how to say it where people understand it without making me out to be a weird person because I'm pointing it out. Those of you who know me know that, I mean, way back, and I have to, I think before my father, even before my father died, is kind of how I can meter things because my whole career changed again there. And then about 2002, I got out of the industry completely. Between 2002 2004, I completely got out the adult industry. So things changed again for me then. And then went back running the company and went back what I started doing. So in 2012, my father died, and then I changed. We sold the company, and things changed for me again then. So I was around different groups of people at those times. My life changed at those times. So those of you who know me from that period of time that I was in that electrical business with my father, you can attest to this, which would be before 2012, which would be after 2002, when I went back in full time about 2004. So that period in my life, okay, I was warning you guys. I would make tranny jokes. Okay, I would talk about how these transsexuals are going to be mainstream, and this is years we couldn't have seen. Who would have thought of Bruce Jenner? I was the first person when I saw Bruce Jenner starting to wear makeup and him being feminized, and the women kind of pushing him around on that Kardashian show. Because I would flip channels. I'm not a fan of a lot of things, but I watch things. I listen to NPR. I listen to liberal media. I listen to a lot of things that I don't agree with because I'm trying to meter what's going to happen in the future. I look at it like as if I was trying to look at a crystal ball, and I can see what they're doing. I used to see this as a child. So those of you who knew me from that period there, where I was running the company, so we're talking about early 2000s on to about 2012, you can attest to the fact that that was the time I started seeing this going on. Because before that, I still had adult industry contacts. I saw how the market was going. I saw a lot of people who were in the entertainment industry. This is why I would know this. I would be around people and they bring these transgender people who had these incredible surgeries who look more like women. I said, well, these people are spending a lot of money on this. And the way they were affording it, just like we have Instagram models now getting plastic surgeries with these guys, they meet, sugar daddies, whatever. They were getting a lot of wealthy men interested in the surgeries, and it became a very big item. It was like a thing to have amongst certain people in the industries, in the entertainment industry. There were people who were getting into this lifestyle. And as that during that point, the gay acceptance increased to the point now we have gay marriage. Now, if you knew me back in high school, and I went in high school in the 80s, and I was a kid in the 70s through the 70s and 80s. Even then, I would say, well, we're probably going to have gay marriage. If those of you like Paul and those of you who know me, I said gay marriage is going to happen. And people thought I was crazy. I got kicked out of class for bringing it up. People are laughing at me. And I said this back in about probably 85, 86. I said, hey, we're going to have gay marriage. The reason I saw that coming, this is why I see things coming. I saw there was a big influx of gay flamboyance at one time. I had the privilege of being around a certain environment where I saw that they were going to have that they had the parades and all these things going on with the gay people, where they were coming out, they were doing the costumes, and they would have signs that said marriage is slavery. They were anti-marriage. They were very anti-marriage back then. And then AIDS happened. When AIDS happened, they had to change their image. Now, I probably remember this organization. I've actually seen the website. There's an organization for the entertainment industry that puts the recommendations for how you portray guns, homosexuals, all these things. And these are recommendations for how you portray people in TV shows. And they started trying to portray gay people as families and portray gay people as change the image, because they were getting blamed for HIV or for AIDS, which of course they're not the whole reason AIDS is transmitted. But during that time, nobody knew about AIDS. And you had the gay men in the bathhouses and the things like San Francisco, out in California. If you were out in California at that time, you would see a lot of bathhouses and things in certain parts, and there was a lot of homosexuality was a kind of a free love, deviancy type of thing. So they changed it to try to change the image, because they had a public relations problem. So that's why they started changing it on the television shows. So as they changed it, it transformed into more, because a lot of the people in Hollywood are interested in pedophilia because they've done everything else. They're interested in controlling people and controlling children. And we know this now as a fact. We know now as a fact. With Bryan Singer and all these other lawsuits you hear about, we know as a fact they've sexualized kids. Now, the thing about Harvey Weinstein just came out, but the kid thing is going to come eventually, and they're racing time. What they're doing is they're trying to race to get it decriminalized and get it legalized before that comes out. They're rushing right now. Hollywood is rushing to change people's opinion of child sex, because if that shit ever comes out, there's going to be a lot of people go down. So these people are dumping money into it and the government likes this too. It's a twofold thing. To take it back a notch, if you watch the average television show, there's a pattern on every show most of the time. You see strong women. It's usually a white woman. It's a white female, usually a blonde female. Now they're starting this trend with Latino females also being powerful. Latina females to cater to that market. But they usually have a white woman, and if they have any white males on there, the white males are portrayed as weak or flawed. The same thing as if you have a movie about a successful white male, like even a cop, they'll always be flawed. They have a drinking problem. They'll have some kind of problem that if you see a movie about a white male that makes a lot of money, he can't be a good father. The white businessman is one of the most. There was this thing I saw throughout the 80s. I remember as a child, they said the white businessman was portrayed as a criminal more than any other person. So how do you think that's affected our view of corporate America? And I guess, some have embraced the criminal thing because they grew up seeing white businessmen portrayed as criminals. So it's kind of like the mafia. The mafia, a lot of the way the mafia behaves nowadays is based on them watching movies. And a lot of people tell you that a lot of the mafia's image came from watching fucking mob movies. A lot of these guys weren't even doing this shit or doing things in the way that the movies portrayed it. They romanticize shit, So or it's art imitates life. So anyway, what they did was there's a lot of shows you watch where a black man will come in and save the white woman or be the redeeming person in that movie. It's a lot of pattern with this. There's a lot of times you'll see this. There'll be a white woman and a black male. Now, do I give a shit? No. I don't care. There's lots of brave people. It doesn't matter, black, white, to me, whatever. But there's a reason they write it this way. Because they're trying to, at first it was a good thing to try to make us more comfortable with black people, or tear down racial barriers and make, here's a white woman, here's a black guy, they're, fighting the world together. There were a lot of good things, a lot of things that have caused problems in society have been perverted to create other things. Same thing with gay rights. And that's the thing is, I don't give a damn what people do, that they're not hurting kids. They want to be gay, you could, if you're a Christian, a lot of Christians, well, it's not a Christian thing. Well, neither is the people shacked up that go to your church, that aren't married, that go to your church with their kids every week. You're not saying nothing to them. So there's no difference in all these couples at church who aren't married, as they're having sex as gay. The sin of being gay is fornication. And it's the sexual thing. If that's the same, if you're going to go with the church angle, that's just, what's the difference in these people having sex that aren't married and having kids together and because you can't tell me with the amount of people in these mega churches and the amount of people who are not married nowadays, you can't tell me that is, there's not a ton of people who are living together out of wedlock, going to church nowadays, and nobody really gives a damn. So I mean, that's why the church. That's the church's fault. You don't let one thing go. Why not let the rest of it go? Because churches don't speak out on that. A lot of them don't. Now I'm sure. Well, my church does. I'm sure somebody will say that, but apparently a lot of them aren't, because they wouldn't have the amount of members they got in these mega churches up the street from my house if they ran their mouth about everything. So that said, over the years, they're opportunists. They have portrayed. They've used now this thing of. I watched a series yesterday. They make watch the white males. It's written that way on purpose. On purpose. Every time I watch this zombie movie without giving any spoilers on Netflix, and it's like this zombie series, and every white man was a coward. Every man that did a heroic act was either a Latino or a black male. The white males were in positions of military power, or their power, or they're dumb rednecks. And people say you're reading too much into it. No, they wrote those characters that way on purpose. They have a white woman. They have a black man save the white woman. They have a black man who was supposed, I guess, a bad person before them. There's no backstory, but supposedly he had done something wrong and he changed, transformed, which in itself is a stereotype. I mean, why is this black guy got to be a criminal? Okay, so that's a stereotype. He's a reformed criminal, is what the kind of backstory that you have to guess at is. So why is he the bad guy? Why did he have that background? And I guess he's redeemed. The only thing that makes him this is the sickening thing is these people are so racist. Is what makes this man redeems this man? He saves a white woman. I mean, he helps a white woman to get to her kid or whatever, or trying to get to the kid. This whole thing is like, that makes him all the bad things he did, I guess, or whatever he did, or murderer or drug dealer, what the fuck he was, the stereotype that he's supposed to be. I guess the only thing that redeems you is saving the white woman. This is so fucking underlyingly racist that people can't see it, and people, instead of people so ignorant, they think that when I bring it up, that when I mention it and I talk about it, I'm the racist because I'm looking at it, I'm seeing that, and the script is written and the characters are picked. You can watch this thing on YouTube that shows how many times a white man's humiliated in a commercial. They're doing this for a reason, because white men are a threat. And the same reason I put up this thing with all these transgender kids. Now people make fun of me and say, well, you talk about transgender shit because you must be a pervert. Okay, let's just say, let's get past that. Okay, I'll sit here and let's take your way of thinking. Let's say I'm a fag, I'm obsessed. Okay, there's a word I'm not supposed to say, but I'm saying it about me. Let's say I'm gay and I love to just bang dudes with boob jobs all day, and it's my thing, and I love it, and I can't get enough of it. I think it's just wonderful. Let's go ahead and say that. Okay. That said, I'm talking about it, and I'm saying, hey, you see what they're doing to these kids? And you see what's going on here? And do these things exist, or am I making them up? Am I obsessed because I'm telling you about it? Because the thing is because this exists, we've got drag kids now. We've got kids being feminized, and we've got kids getting puberty blockers, and kids having sex changes now. So if I'm into it so damn much, why would I be saying, hey man, this is a little too far? Okay, maybe I just like my grown trannies that, did it, didn't do it in childhood. Okay, so even that said, I have a stopping point. Okay, so now, not that I'm into trannies, into that whole thing, but if I was, okay, then you can't hate me for it if you're supposedly this open-minded person and you think I'm so bad. Well, then okay, then why you can't hate me? Because if I'm gay, you're not supposed to not like me for being gay. So here, if you think of me as that's my motivation, even though it's obvious if I was gay, I wouldn't have. If I was all this big gay dude, I'm sure I'd probably have a hell of a lot more money, because women have taken an awful lot in my life. So anyway, that said, I'm willing to just say, okay, think that if you want to, because I want you to listen to the fucking problem here. Here's the problem. They constantly start portraying a lot of black men in leadership positions, for example, because they want us to see black men as leaders, and they want us to, they had black police chiefs, you had a lot of it. And there was a good reason behind that, because a lot of people just think of black people as thugs, or thought of them poorly, and they had bad images, the hustlers and all this crap. So I understand that's a great thing to try to portray people in different ways, because it does help people's perception. But it's out of hand to the point that now it's not just done to kind of let's make things, let's make, here's the white woman comfortable with this guy. They can't just do that. They've got to make all these white guys like rapists or bad people or fucking disingenuous or liars, or they're either working for the man or the government or something. They're always the villains. And they're always doing things that even the average, disingenuous mad person would do. Same thing, watch Bird Box. Same thing. The white dude's a coward. He's a coward, even though he was fucking right and he got killed. Watch any movie. And he said, well, I don't watch movies that way. I'm not racist. Well, it doesn't. You can't have it both ways. You can't sit here and say it's great that woman did this, or it's great that black guy did this, or that black guy's heroic, and then say that you're racist because you're looking at it that it was written that way. You can't sit here and tell me I'm the racist because I see it. Because I'm, as a white male, we see characters we identify with. Okay, so I watched that Bird Box movie, for example. Okay, there's a bald white dude who is right, who's the only one who's got any fucking sense, which is John Malkovich. He's actually right about shit and gets killed. Okay, so I can identify with that. You know why? Because I'm the white guy that's right. I'm the white guy that says shit nobody wants to listen to, who happens to be right most of the time. So hey, I identify with John Malkovich, and he got killed. And it's like, the ridiculous thing is, you see like these characters, and they're like, people are like, you can't help it. If you're a black man, you're gonna look at these characters and you identify as that character. If I'm a white dude, I live in the South. I see a white Southern character and their teeth are rotting out and they're getting, they're fucking redneck and stupid, or a gun owner, or a person, they portray people who use firearms as fucking idiots. And it's the thing is, you see all these portrayals and you're supposed to connect. I don't connect with these characters because I think that's what I'm supposed to connect to. We all, I don't give a damn what you say. If we're female, we connect with the females. If we're male, we connect with the males. And you're sitting here watching a zombie movie, and just like Walking Dead did this too, but they've got it. Walking Dead at least had a white male leadership on there, which is something I can identify personally with Shane. I always identify with the white dude, like I said, that people don't want to listen to. That's right. I like Shane on Walking Dead, and the fucking thing about Walking Dead is Rick becomes just like Shane by the damn other part. Shane was the one that had all the sense. And when I watched the show Lost, I identify with certain characters that I thought were not supposed to be the good guys, because they seem to be right. There's certain people who are right that are looked at poorly in shows, or portrayed as villains, and that's what I identify with. Sometimes I identify with black characters because there are some black characters on movies that think the way I would think in certain situations. So it doesn't matter. Race doesn't play into that 100%. We just basically identify who thinks like us. So sometimes for somebody who may think like the black character that isn't black, then maybe if they're racist or they don't feel, maybe that makes them feel a commonality with that. But I think we're deliberately showing white men in bad light, and we're doing this thing with the feminization. So why do you think? This is why they talk about white privilege, and all these things about puberty blockers and feminizing, all these things. It's a win-win for liberals, because liberals feel that they control, or they're the ones that are benevolent to the women and benevolent to the black men and benevolent to all the minorities and Latinos. They're trying to put Latinos more and more in positions of power on movies too. And those of us who know the street know there's a conflict between Latino people and black people in a lot of neighborhoods. There's a conflict. There's this conflict. A lot of black people have animosity towards Latinos. A lot of Latinos talk shit about black folks. If you sit there and you work with a bunch of Latino guys, they'll talk about black people and insult them, and talk about, say negative things about them a lot. That's just a fact. You don't, if you don't work in construction and shit, you don't see that, but I see it. So what happens is you've got um, all these black people that have conflict and all these Latino people. So if you watch a show now, they've got this new thing they do. They'll have like Latino and the black people have a conflict and then work together. Like they'll, because people who make, guarantee you, people who make these shows, a lot of them live in California and they see that shit in California because there's a lot of black versus Latino fucking animosity in California right now. So they'll see that. So you always have a situation where there's black Latino people in the same room and they'll eventually have some kind of conflict resolution. And they're doing that on purpose. They're trying to say, hey, look, we got to gang up on these people because the real enemy is one way to get Latino people and black people to gang up on people is find the common white man enemy, like their white redneck dude and beat his ass. So you watch this shit and you've got like a deaf person, Indian people, Korean, like that zombie shows, for example, is like Korean, black, white woman, all these different people that you'd never find anywhere, in real life. You're not gonna, a deaf person, an Indian guy, and then every white person on there that is a coward, always running from something, even if they're not like really a bad guy, they're always running away or some shit because and they can't fight or they're scared to do something. So which is some truth to that. There's a lot of soy boys I deal with every day that are white kids that have bought into the feminization. So that said, they take these kids and they make these kids into these boys. They tell them, be ashamed of being white, be ashamed of being male, white privilege, you should be shamed for that, you should be shamed for who you are. So what would be better than, hey, if I'm a white male and I don't feel good about myself because that's all I've been told, why not be a woman? Because I can be a white woman and then black men will save me. That's what's the fucking point. If it's a win-win because the further down they sexualize children, these pedophiles in Hollywood, and they are a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood, they can get their shit decriminalized. They can have harems full of little boys that they want. And they can keep doing what they're doing and not worry about being prosecuted because the quicker they get that shit to legalization, the easier it is on those guys. If you guys don't know the history, like I'll give you an example, history lesson, look it up. The ILGA in the 80s went to the United Nations to get United Nations status where, they get money and they can go around telling people what to do. The ILGA was founded by NAMBLA, the National Association of Man and Boy Love thing or whatever, which is a pedophilia organization which has been around since the 70s. Look it up. So that organization had an offshoot organization called the ILGA. A man named Harry Hay was running it. All they did was put when Congress said, no, we're not going to mess with you guys because you come from a pedophilia organization. Congress, this is congressional record. And then if you look a few years later, there were Republican congressmen saying, hey, these people are still fucking with these pedophiles. Because the people in the ILGA, which did get power because it's supposed to be a gay organization just for gay people, a lot of the people from the pedophile organization came over in leadership positions. If you really look at the history, that's true. And most people have no idea that a gay organization went to our Congress in the 80s to assess power over things. And the founders of that thing, and they were getting, the founders of that thing were NAMBLA, and which is a long-standing pedophilia organization. And that is true. That's true history. There's not a conspiracy. That's just, it was a conspiracy. Why was the government, why were people in the government saying we can't mess with you because you come from these guys? That's congressional record. You can look it up. I've actually got congressional record. I've got the file saved because people think I'm making that up. That's true. So it's a win-win for everybody. In the liberal thing, if you get that decriminalized, if Hollywood can get that decriminalized, that saves a lot of people's asses. Even if you're not, let's say, even if you're not a pedophile and your boss is this big producer guy who owns a big studio, and he's fucking with kids, and everybody jokes about it because they know he's fucking kids, because they can't say anything about it, they get fired. Your job depends on that motherfucker staying out of trouble. So you're like, this guy will quit fucking with kids, but he may better get where he don't go to jail for it. These people offering their children up to Hollywood to get money. So their jobs depend on it. There's millions of people out there, probably thousands or whatever you want to say. I don't know how many people working in business. I can look it up, but there's a lot of jobs that depend on these guys not going to prison for banging kids. So their interest, it's in their best interest to promote that message, because if they decriminalize it, then there's no problem. So then see these people in Hollywood, it's a win for them because they get to do what they want with no problem with immunity. Then they get money because they think if this country goes socialist, then they're going to get the money. They're going to be the ones that get to keep the money. They're the ones that keep their shit because they're a propaganda device for the government. They're a tool. So then if they shame, plus it's easier to bring socialism up because the Democrats feel they control the black people, feel they control the Latino people. They get the Latino people here over the border. They get their kids in free college. They get medical care. They're already giving BBT cards all in the neighborhood, like I've said before. They're getting them here. And then they feel they control them. They're talking about reparations because they're losing some of the black vote because black people have smartened up enough to get away from the Democratic Party. So they think if we offer money, if we talk about reparations, we'll get them back. They'll just come for the money. So they're doing everything they can to get those people back under control. And they feel they control women because of abortion. Now they're losing a little bit of that. So they're going to have to come up with a scheme because women are saying, hey, you're taking abortion too far with this 9-month shit. So they feel like they're losing some women. So look for a campaign against certain type of women soon. That'll be happening soon enough. And TV will be changing. They'll be changing things around to compete with that situation. So that said, well, you've got these little boys that are being feminized because they're the only people who would be a threat. Masculine white males are the threat to a socialist government taking over. And if they can make these boys ashamed of being boys, ashamed of being white, and retreating to homosexuality because that's pretty much the best way to get them under control, then they win. Hollywood wins because their stuff is decriminalized and their stuff is acceptable because it's a great tool for the liberals. They can do that. It's common sense what they're trying to do. Does that sound like a conspiracy theory? If you think that's a conspiracy theory, you're an idiot because there's no way that feminizing boys doesn't help socialism. There's no way that it doesn't help the government take over. And that's the same thing I say every day. These people who talk about the government's evil and the government. There's so many people that would give the government more power, whether it's liberals or libertarians, and even some conservatives give the government more power that talk about how bad the government is. And so this is where we're headed. And you think this happened overnight? You see, I put a picture up of these, all these drag queen kids and kids getting sex changes, and they're coming after our kids because they think, well, we can wait till these people die off, we can get these kids. You can't build a country with what they got. With the way these kids think, even the young kids I work with, young guys, I couldn't hardly build a country with some of these dudes. Okay? Some of these young dudes, you couldn't build a country with some of these guys because their work ethic's not the same. There's a lot of shit that's not the same anymore. So, like I said, over the years, I have told many, many stories and said many things that sounded silly or crazy. But we're looking, if you go back in a time machine and you're making fun of me saying that there's going to be mainstream trannies, and then now you come here to 2019 and you see kids, little boys on drag queen shows dancing with dollar bills and twerking and shit, wearing women, and have drag queen shows on fucking cable about little boys 11 and 9, 8 and 9-year-old drag queens, and you got this shit on fucking cable TV, and you're gonna tell me that I'm crazy and I'm wrong, and it's right there in front of your face. So how did this happen? Did this just somebody just turn on a switch and that's happened? Did somebody just decide that, hey, we're going to start making drag queen kids now, or did it happen over time? Why is that? Why would that even be? If I put that shit on TV in 2002, people like, what the fuck is this? People wouldn't even fucking turn. They would be raising hell in 2002. But why now we accept it? Because we're afraid now. People are scared to say a fucking thing. You got people scared to death to say anything now because they're afraid of losing their fucking career over looking homophobic. There's a difference in being homophobic. Look, I don't hate gay people. I don't. Like I said, gay adults is fine. But there's a difference in being homophobic, okay, and brainwashing kids. And if you think that they're just getting these kids into drag and into transsexualism because they think that it's mentally helping these kids and it's letting them be who they're wanting to be and shit, if you buy into that fucking dumb shit, you're an idiot too, because that the only reason they're doing this. Well, think about when the boys are doing it. Even if the boys are thinking that way, because you're not supposed to be aggressive, you're not supposed to be a boy, you're not supposed to act that way. It's like they want you to be do all this feminine shit. They don't want you to act masculine. Don't want you to act male. I mean, want you to hate yourself for being white. You're not special. If you're white, you're just nothing. You're the guy that gets beat up by you never beat up for doing something wrong on this TV show. You're nothing anymore. So I mean that they're degrading white males, and I'm not sitting here feeling sorry for myself. So I'm a white male. I don't even really fit in with most white males, to be honest. I don't fit in with too many people at all. I don't even seem like a white man to most people. I'm not a typical white guy. So the point is, and I don't feel damn near anybody. Anybody knows me knows that. But the point of that is you know, that these boys are gravitating towards getting attention somehow because they're not supposed to be aggressive. They're not supposed to express themselves anymore. So they can express themselves as a female and supposedly be accepted and be special and be a celebrity. I mean, they see these Kardashian crap and these people, growing up seeing these women be celebrities for being whores. I mean, Instagram, if a boy can go out there and stick his tits out there, get a boob job, and you get big ass, big titties, on Instagram, tucking your dick. I mean, you get all kinds of attention nowadays. People, oh, look how good of a job, look how beautiful she is, and look how beautiful. You get these drag queens that look like women, when they're 11 years old, look like a woman out here being flamboyant. Oh, look at that, look at how cute that is. I mean, it's sickening to me. And if I say it's sickening, I'm a homophobe, yeah, whatever. I think drag queens are silly with all that crap, that makeup and shit. And I've been to drag shows. And there's a bunch of goofy ass people. Drag queens don't bother me. They're usually, just weird fucking dudes. Actually, a transsexual is more understandable to me than a drag queen because a transsexual at least really thinks they're a woman enough to go do something about it. And a lot of them look like women. Of course, you guys don't think I love them anyway. So, but I just talk about this stuff for years because I saw what was coming. So all you guys that thought I was crazy 10 years ago for talking about this, now, was I wrong? We got here, didn't we? We got drag queen kids now. We got here. What do you think we're going to have years from now? We're going to have women flopping penises around, being pure women. We're going to have women with dicks walking around saying, this is a woman now. This is a woman. Look at the dick. And then we talk about how does size matter? Does your wife's size matter with your wife? Oh, my wife's penis is. I can hear this shit years from now. You think I'm crazy? Just wait till you see this on talk shows. They'll have these reality type shows or something where dude's talking about his wife. He's getting a penis enlargement because she doesn't feel adequate. I mean, you're gonna see this shit. You're gonna see women being ashamed of their smaller penises. Like, why is I'm a woman, but I feel like I'm not 100% woman because my penis is too small. Because it's gonna get that way. You guys think I'm crazy? Just wait, and you're gonna see that I'm right. And you're making fun of me now and saying I'm just saying off the wall shit. After knowing Greco, if you've known me since high school, now is anything I really say off the fucking wall? You know what? It's lonely being in here. That's why I don't fit in with white people or anybody. Because being right in here, I see all these things that you guys think I'm clowning around about. I'm a fucking prophet. That's why I got this hoodie on today, because I'm makes me look like a prophet or fucking jacked up Obi-Wan. So you guys should know, instead of laughing at me thinking I'm trying to get clown around, listen to what I fucking say. Listen to what I say, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe I got an idea. Maybe I'm a fucking time traveler. So anyway, you guys have a great day. If you got boys, take them out there and teach them how to do some boy shit today. And there's nothing wrong with mom teaching boys how to do girl stuff too, because hey, I cook, I do all kinds of so-called what used to be. There's no such thing as girl and boy stuff now, but I do stuff. People thought I was a feminine because I cooked, or I know how to bake. I make really good cookies, and even though I can't fucking eat them because I want to keep my abs. I make them for other people, but I hear they're real good. I will try them. I'll eat one out of the batch. But anyway, this is the thing. Try to listen sometimes, man, instead of making fun of people that try to tell you things, because I care. And it's not that I hate gay people, and I think a lot of transgender people have a lot of issues, man. It's not an issue you want to put a child into. I know transgender people because being in the adult industry, I've seen a lot of them, and know a lot of them, and a lot of them they're nice people. Some of them are really nice folks. And I feel bad because some of them have a lot of depression and suicidal thoughts, and there's a lot of suicides in that place, and I've went through suicides in my family, so I understand how bad that is on the family. There's a lot of tragedy there, and you don't want to open your. We're sacrificing our children for this tragic bullshit, man. for control. I mean, they're willing to sacrifice a whole generation of kids just to control people. So you guys think about that. Have a great day. I wish somebody watched my videos. I don't think anybody does. But if nothing else and I die tomorrow, maybe somebody will watch this years from now and think, hey, that guy was smart back in 2000, 2019. He was a smart dude. He wasn't as weird as the old weird Uncle Tony we heard he was. Maybe he's smarter than we thought. So anyway, maybe I'll be a meme or they'll be posting my shit 100 years from now saying I could tell the future. So anyway, I can only hope. I'm sure I'll be way more loved when I'm dead than I am now. So you guys have a great day.